Fox Sports welcomes you back to the Kobalt Tools 500 from Atlanta. Glad to have you along with us this Sunday afternoon. Kyle Busch, current your leader, and looking on board in the 31 car of Jeff Burton, who is working his way in the top 10. In time for an AT&T race break as see Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Carl Edwards in a battle for second place. Kyle Busch, who came in as the Sprint Cup points leader, has yet to win this year, but is leading this race and has led the most laps so far this year, with Carl Edwards running right behind him. With Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, a quick little recap here. Turn 2, difficult in the early going here. Michael Waltrip and then Nemechek going in at maybe 195 miles per hour, coming out at about 155. David Gilliland and the leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr., for most of this, shot out of the start like he was in a marquee jet, a smooth, fast ride, led 59 of the first 60 laps, trying to end that winless streak of 65 races. But Jeff Hammond, the handling of the cars so far, as Darrell Waltrip has alerted to, worth watching.
Worth watching for sure, because they're not a pretty race car on this racetrack, in my opinion. Even the leader right now, when you take a look at Kyle Busch, that car is wobbling all over the places, jumping out from under him, but he's up on the wheel right now, Chris. Darrell has talked about you've got to drive this race car, and right now I think you're seeing what this young man's talent's all about. Early on, Dale Jr., he was up on top of the wheel leading a lot of laps. Carl Edwards is charging up through the field. It's all about the wheel man today, because there's not going to be a really good handling race car here at this racetrack. The way the tires are, the racetrack's getting warm, it's hot and slick. So it's really going to come down to how bad do you really want it.
The pole sitter, Jeff Gordon, currently 7th. Any surprises early that are hanging around? Denny Hamlin, Clint Boyer, guys who needed to have good races are up there.
Well, I think so far, you know, we're kind of like expecting guys to do this. Jeff Gordon starting to warn me a little bit. He's been falling back, kind of just hanging in there. They need to work on that 24 car, get him back up there where he can challenge for the lead. But when you see Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, Bobby Labonte, they're all doing a great job. We've already talked about Juan Pablo Montoya, but you got to get a call out that Scott Riggs kid. Their 66 car's been doing really good also. But right now, Mr. Gordon and Steve Letarte, they need to do a little bit more magic in this 24 car, because he's still not where he needs to be.
And here are the top 4 car numbers picked by our viewers to win today's race. Watch our pre-race coverage each week to play. It's been your AT&T race break. Currently, Kevin Harvick, Mike, running 4th. Of course, he had his first career win here, but this is one of the worst finishing tracks, at least average-wise, for him over his career.
Harvick in 4th, 5 seconds off the lead, as you saw Jeff Burton give up that 8th spot to Martin Truex in the back straightaway, and without contest. Burton is he is such a chess player, a thinking man's racer. You won't see him race you, just as Ryan Newman just pulled over for Tony Stewart. Stewart caught him. Newman says, "You go right on ahead. I'll be there later."
And you can go fast in this car if you're willing to take the chance. What I see with this car is it's all over the place. You take somebody like Kyle Busch, he kind of likes that. It says, this is fun, man. I'm hanging on, I'm sliding, I'm sideways. Take somebody like a Jeff Burton, he's going to say, I'm going to slow this bad boy down. I'm not going to get myself in that position in case something, so I have some control.
Wow, Carl Edwards got in front of Dale Jr., and that car went loose.
Gave him a signal out the driver's window there to go on by, dude.
Yeah, enough of that.
It wasn't that many laps ago that Carl Edwards drove by Dale Earnhardt Jr., so either Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car, he figured something out, or I believe Carl Edwards, his car is going away as he's falling into the clutches now of Kevin Harvick in the 29.
Dick?
Well, I'm in Earnhardt's pit, Mike, and Earnhardt a few laps ago said, how did we get that loose? He has also loosened up in his car, and no doubt some of this has to do with the temperature out here. It has gotten very nice and warm out here. Matt.
Carl Edwards just told his team, he says, look, if we can tighten my car up just a little bit, we are going to be super fast. But he's just lost another spot to Kevin Harvick.
Now, speaking of Kevin Harvick, remember, after 38 laps a while ago when they pitted on lap 39, it was reported Steve Burns said he had a little bit of cord showing on the right front tire. Steve was telling me during a break what they did to help that car turn a little bit is they just took a little bit of air pressure out of both front tires. That decreases the spring rate and will help that car to turn. Looks like they've definitely made it better, and we're about 13 or 14 laps away from a green flag stop.
Jamie McMurray has just made his stop under green as Kyle Busch leads the Kobalt Tools 500 on Fox.
Real over here. It's the Kobalt cannon here at the Kobalt 500. Who wants the t-shirts?
The Kobalt Tools 500 on Fox is sponsored by FedEx. Every day is race day. by the new KFC toasted wrap. It's not done until it's toasted. And by Toyota, moving forward.
83 laps complete. Kyle Busch has led 24 of them. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 58. Casey Kane has led a lap, and we're within 10 laps of scheduled green flag pit stops. 2 drivers have already been gigged by the speeding police on pit road. Jamie McMurray was one of them, and J.J. Yaley on his first pit stop the other. Caution flag flies. Debris, which was on the backstretch, made its way to turn 3 up in the groove, so second caution of the day.
And there's several guys that really, they were definitely looking for that. Greg Biffle, Scott Riggs, Brian Vickers, they were just about to go a lap down to Kyle Busch. And as you mentioned, yeah, we were within about 8 to 9 laps of what would be our first green flag stops of the day.
So we have 17 cars on the lead lap. Paul Menard will make 18. He will be the free pass car under this second caution of the afternoon. And Darrell, our pit reporters told us during the break, I've never heard so many different descriptions of my car is junk than we've just heard.
Well, what happened on that first stop in, everybody complained about being tight. So when the driver says he's tight, what do? You loosen him up. Now what are the drivers complaining about?
Loose.
Now I'm loose. So we got to play that game here for a little while. Tight, loose, tight, loose. Maybe we'll get it right before the day's over with.
So now we've got, with Paul Menard getting the free pass, we'll have 18 cars on the lead lap. Pit road is much more crowded. The second time, that's when everybody 1 or more laps down makes a pit stop.
Now it begs the question, it was 25 degrees colder when they practiced here yesterday, but don't you have a way to compensate for that and anticipate on a day that's nearly 60 degrees what conditions are going to be like versus practice when it was 35 degrees?
And we talked about that yesterday during that hour-and-a-half practice, that these guys definitely had to have a game plan, knowing absolutely the forecast was calling for much warmer temperature.
Can you hit a curveball? Pretty hard to hit, and that's what these guys have had thrown at them ever since testing here last year. They came here, tested on the tire that we ran here last year. That got the car going in one direction. Came back, made another tire test in December. These guys show back up, they don't know what they got.
Larry, you're going to have to visit the Weather Channel more often, because whatever weather there could be here in Atlanta, we have had it this weekend.
That's pretty much got it all covered right there. But the good news is there's not a cloud in the sky today, and here comes about 17 cars coming to pit road. Matt Yoakum.
And Carl Edwards told me at driver entrance his car was about a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. It was tight the first run, loose this run as he slides to a stop. Look for a slight track bar adjustment for Edwards. Let's go further up pit road to Steve.
Matt, Kyle Busch says the forward bite's pretty good, but he needs more rear stability, so they'll make an air pressure adjustment. You see Kevin Harvick in the bottom left. He said he's loose everywhere, Dick.
Junior pits out of the second position. 4 tires, a minor change in the chassis. He has nobody in front of him, and he's gone. Krista.
Denny Hamlin said the adjustment on the last stop helped his pickup, but now he is tight in the center. The splitter is hitting. The crew had a great stop. High fives all around in the 11 pit.
Krista, they should, because they definitely beat 2 or 3 cars off pit road, talking about Denny Hamlin, Mike Ford in the 11.
Here's the debris that was up in turn number 3 that has put us under the second caution of the afternoon. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.